Freedom of speech. It's a fundamental right protected by the First Amendment, but is it being suppressed on college campuses? Cherise Trump, executive director of Speech First and host of the podcast Well Said, is standing up for students' rights across the country, and she joins us now. And Cherise, these days we've all heard the term cancel culture. So explain exactly what it means and how it's becoming the norm on college campuses.
Yes, this is a really unfortunate social norm that we're seeing all across, the country and the world, but primarily on college campuses. And this is honestly where a lot of it began. College campuses kind of create these environments that are really ripe for students to target one another based on how much offense they feel in conversations or interactions. And what often happens is the campuses or the administrators will provide outlets for issues like this through what are called bias response teams and various discriminatory harassment policies, where students can anonymously report one another whenever they feel offended or whenever they feel that they've been wronged in some way, if they've heard an unwanted joke, or if they saw something on social media that upset them. And so this just creates that, we've heard this term coddling the American mind. This creates an environment that is just ripe for that, this kind of tattling, this censorship that students are doing at one another with the encouragement of campus administrators.
I had never heard of these bias response teams. So talk about how is it affecting the learning environment? I mean, colleges are supposed to be a place that's an open forum for discussion and ideas.
So a lot of these students now are afraid to speak up. It's creating this chilled environment where students are afraid to speak their minds. They're afraid to participate in classroom debates because they're afraid that they might actually be reported. We call them censor squads because that's essentially what they're doing to the students. They're censoring what they say.
So if the kids are kind of censoring themselves or the colleges are censoring them at the college level, how does that affect the rest of the country?
From their experiences on campus, they're essentially going to come out with either the self-censorship habit, where they're complacent and they keep their heads down, they don't speak up, they don't develop these types of convictions that are important to do so at this time in their life, or they're going to have these like tyrannical tendencies where they realize that the best way to shut someone down that you disagree with or to get your way is to just accuse others in your life of being bigoted or accuse them of being having the wrong opinions and shutting them down essentially. And so this is, you're either getting one or the other, and it's not going to be good either way for our country.
Wow. And just 5 years ago in the Brooklyn Diocese, a student sued Queens College in order to start a pro-life club on campus because it wasn't approved, and she won. So why are administrations even allowing that to happen, not recognizing certain student groups?
Yeah, what a lot of folks don't realize is that the club approval process actually starts with the Student Government Association. And the Student Government Association, oftentimes we see a lot of viewpoint discrimination coming out of there against conservative clubs or organizations, and they try to block the club recognition process for these clubs. And keep in mind, student government associations also get to manage millions of dollars of student activity fees, and they get to determine and allocate where that money goes. So oftentimes we do see them target religious organizations, we do see them target Christian clubs, we see them target Jewish clubs, because a lot of these student government associations are ripe with woke social justice warriors and members of these progressive mobs that really actively try to go after conservative ideas. So oftentimes what you see is it starts at that level, and then the campus administrators and the faculty advisors don't step in. They don't try to put any kind of oversight over the student government. And oftentimes they will use the idea of free speech to defend the fact that they're not stepping in to prevent viewpoint discrimination in these really important cases.
Wow. Well, thanks for the work that you do. Cherise Trump, executive director of Speech First and host of the Well Said podcast. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks so much for having me.
Hi, I'm Christine Persichetti, anchor of Currents News. If you like what you saw, please hit the like button on this video. And if you want to see more content just like it, subscribe and click on the bell for notifications. Thanks for watching, because we are putting your faith in the news.